when I was young in kindergarten, grade 1, my mom would give me 2 stalks of green onions, and she would stick it in my jacket pockets.
To walk to school?
I walked to school with stalks of green onion.
And nobody said anything to you?
Well, the kids, well, they call me mental, but I thought they were telling me how smart I was. Because
you know what? That's a really good way to look at it, by the way.
Because green onions in Chinese, it sounds like smart. Tung.
Oh.
Tung. And tung men is smart.
So your mother thought she was giving you a bit of a leg up by giving you green onions?
Yeah, make me smarter, but I don't know.
Brilliant.
I don't know if that helped or not.
It did make you smarter because it gave you a positive outlook too. So do we have to chop green onions?
So the green onions you chop after you steam it. You just chop up some green onions
to put on the top.
Okay. So what you do is just chop up some.
Just the green part, right?
Just like that. Just a handful like that. And just put on top after you finish steaming.
And how long will this take to steam?
Usually about half an hour.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit longer. You have to check it just to make sure.
And how many people would this serve?
Normally about 4 people, but for myself, that's one serving for myself.
He really likes that dish, I can tell. So, okay, this will serve a couple people with rice, like you say, part of a larger meal.
Yeah, sometimes you might have 2 or 3 different types of steamed dishes, because there's different types of things we put on meat.
Yeah.
For example, you have the shrimp paste, or the fooyi, which is the bean cake.
That's also stinky.
That's part of the next meal.
That's a stinky one too, though.
Yeah, that's kind of stinky, yeah.
Okay, well, we should take a break then so we can come back with the Fooyi and other great stories that Dan's got for us. So don't go away, more to cover here on City Cooks. So that's not, doesn't take very long at all. All right, welcome back to City Cooks, everybody. Dan Seto's with us today with the Chinese-Canadian Historical Society of BC, talking about your family history and how that connects to food.
Right.
Right? As in, lots of people could probably understand exactly what it is you're talking about.
I think everybody's got a story about their family, so it's a good idea to write it out and pass it down.
Was it therapeutic for you? Like, did you have lots of great memories when you were doing this?
Actually, I had a lot of great memories, also bad memories, too.
Really?
So some of the stories aren't really happy all the time, but it's good to get it out there.
Yeah, and it forms sort of what you are, right? Yeah. There's a great story in the book about how your dad always made turkey congee.
Yeah.
After Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
That's a real fusion happening right there, isn't it? Yeah. That's a good one. And we're making, what are we making right now? We're making
stir-fried green beans with fooyi.
And what is fooyi?
Which is the bean cake. It's basically fermented tofu.
Okay.
So I have some right here.
And this is pretty smelly stuff, you were saying,
actually, right? I got the good brand here. It's,
that's good to know.
It's fermented in Chinese wine.
Okay.
Sometimes they ferment it in water. And it has a fairly strong smell and taste.
And your mom made this a lot when you were growing up?
We actually ate this a lot when we were growing up. And what my mom did was, every time we were eating, she always have a bowl of rice. And she'd take 1 or 2 of these fuyis.
That's what it looks like right there? Okay, she would just take 1 or 2 little cubes?
Yeah, just eat it with rice. And I never really understood why she liked it so much. But as we grow up, my mom was making steaks one day. So we're having these big grilled steaks.
Nice big juicy steaks,
big juicy steaks. And as she finished cooking, my cousin comes in. And my mom asks my cousin, "Have you eaten yet?" Which is a common thing for...
Everybody asks that, That's every culture, that's universal.
Right. Yeah. And then my cousin said he hadn't eaten. So my mom, the steak that she was going to eat for herself, she gave it to my cousin. And my cousin ate the steak. And,
even though your mom was looking forward to it.
Yeah, she was looking forward to it. And then she goes to the fridge and grabs some fooyi to put on her rice. And that's why I understood why she eats fooyi all the time.
Oh, yeah, she used a habit for her as well, but she could appreciate it. Boy, you can certainly appreciate what mothers are all about.
She always
a story like that.
She always put us first all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well, you're going to show us one of these recipes that she
this
made,
is a simple recipe, stir-fried green beans.
Okay.
So first you put about maybe 3 tablespoons of oil.
Which we've done.
Yeah, which we've done. So just let it heat up.
Yeah, it's getting nice and hot.
Then as you heat up, you just put some ginger.
Some ginger.
So you put about maybe 2 tablespoons or however much you want to put in.
Okay. And you've left it fairly chunky, too.
Actually, I like it even bigger chunks, but I cut it small here.
Yeah. That up there for you? Yeah.
And ginger is really good for you.
So the more the better.
Yeah, the more the better.
Got it.
I don't know why, but my mom always says it's good.
Hey, listen, if your mom said it, it's true.
That's
okay. And garlic goes in there as well?
And garlic, you can put, 1 or 2 tablespoons of garlic.
Okay.
And just let it brown there for a while.
Now, the stories that we've been talking about today, Dan, are all sort of in this book that you participated in. Can you tell us about that?
Okay, we published the first book last year. It was about family history.
Yeah, and this is about food and family.
And from that first book came the second book, which is about food and family.
Yeah.
And there's in the first book there was 8 participants and writers.
Yeah.
The second book there's 23.
Wow.
So there's 23 writers. 20 were Chinese and 3 were Aboriginal. So the book is called Eating Stories.
And there's great recipes in there as well, right? Really nicely done, too. Some really, really great recipes that you're not going to find in other cookbooks either.
Yeah.
Because these aren't the ones that you get made in restaurants or whatever. This is at-home kind of
And this is like personal stories, and some of the stories about restaurants in the past, like the Green Door, the story about the Green Door. Which
now this is getting nice and cooked up. What do we have to do here?
So all you do right now is just put the green beans in there.
Okay. And you want it to be nice and hot like that, right?
If you want it more tender, you can boil the green beans for 1 or 2 minutes.
Right.
But I like it crispy like this, so I just...
You like it? Okay, perfect, like that. I'll just turn that down a little bit.
Yeah.
So what would you serve this with? Or is this more another dish in sort of the...
Well, everything is served with rice. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So whatever you put, just bring up the rice.
When you were growing up, what seemed to you exotic food?
Like I said, the spam was exotic.
Spam was exotic?
Spam was exotic, and even steak. We never had steaks for a long time. And for example, I didn't know different kind of steaks.
Yeah.
There's one steak somebody orders. It's called a small steak.
Right.
So I thought small steak was a part of a cow. Like small steak was a part of a cow.
Where's the small steak part of the cow? Is that what you were wondering?
Yeah. So there's like T-bone steak and sirloin steak, and I thought small steak was part of a cow too.
This is almost done.
Yeah, it's almost done. So you just need to add the Fooyi there.
Now, are you just going to put it in there sort of as cubes?
I just put the whole thing in, just mix it up.
Now, that's not necessarily how your mother always made it, right? Because when you talk about it in the book, you talk about she mashed it up and put it into things.
Okay, well, she was making like a steamed pork, like what we were doing before, but just slice the pork.
Right.
And then when you slice the pork, you just put some ginger in there.
And you mash up
the Fooyi.
Put that in there
and you steam
as well.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is pretty much
well done, yeah. If you like it, just mix it up a little more.
Oh, yummy. Boy, does that ever smell good. Okay, we're going to take a break here, Dad. Do you? Okay, well, you make it a little bit more done. Okay, and when we come back, we'll be digging into all of our home-cooked food that we made today. Don't go away. That looks good.
Freaking one woman.
All right, it's time to take a look at our trivia question for today, and you can enter to win a copy of Eating Stories if you know what is the town where Dan grew up. Name that town. Email us your answer, win@citytv.com. Not only are you getting a great cookbook with that, but there are some great stories in there, Dan, which was the whole point behind the project, right?
Yeah.
Were you nervous participating in this? Like, had you done writing before?
I've never really done too much writing. I mean, I've did it in high school, and I did publish a health and fitness magazine at one point.
Right, but what made you want to participate in this then?
I wanted to write stories about my family, and especially about my dad, some of his stories.
Yeah. He's got a lot of great stories,
He's been
right?
telling me the stories for over and over, hundreds of times. I think I put it on print.
That's a good idea, right? I mean, he fought with the Nationalist Army as well in China, had a couple close calls. You talk about all that in the book as well. All right, Dan, let's take a look at the dishes that we've made. Okay, these are dishes that you remember very vividly from your childhood.
Right.
Okay, tell me about this one first of all.
Okay, that's a simple dish of stir-fried green beans with Fooyi.
Okay.
Which is the bean cake.
And you kind of mushed it all up, but you don't have to do that. You can just...
It's better to mush it up because you want it, every green bean to be coated with the Fooyi.
Right. Is it a very strong flavor with that?
Some people find it strong, but depending on the people. For me, it's not.
For you, it's okay. You grew up with it, right? And this dish here?
That's steamed pork with saltfish.
All right.
And you can make that without the saltfish as well.
Okay.
Just steam pork.
And that, you said, took about half an hour.
Yeah, about half an hour to steam.
To really finish completely, right?
Yeah, you should check it to make sure it's cooked.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And this one here?
That's the lotus root soup with spare ribs. And you can substitute any kind of meat you want. You can have like pork bones or beef bones or
whatever you
beef
want.
Ribs or whatever.
Was this all everyday food for you?
Pretty well. We eat at least one of these every week.
Really?
Like at some point.
But that was very common for you to have one of these dishes.
Yeah.
Was there a meat dish every day?
There was one meat dish, usually a soup dish and a vegetable dish.
Right. Well, listen, Dan, thank you very much. You did a great job. What do you think I should try?
Start with one and keep going.
Really? Sound like the way you think. Well done. I will do that. I will start with one. I'm going to start with the beans, though, because I want to try this Fooyi. So listen, thank you very much for being on our show today and sharing your stories. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on City Cooks. I'm going to try one of these ones right here, okay?